Hey there, welcome to Real Talk Baseball. We have a special series for you this 2025 offseason. We have talking about the Astros today with my host, Ernie Orange, as host, and then we have Will Powers, our baseball analyst. How are you doing out there, Will?
I'm doing great, man. I'm just glad that baseball season doesn't end for us, man. We talk baseball all year round and give our insights on every one of the 30 teams that there's always something to talk about. The off season isn't really the off season because that's when trades happen and free agent signings, and there's a few free agents coming up for this Astros team that we're talking about.
That is true, man. We're going to be talking about Astros rumors, predictions, trade prospects out there. There's a lot to talk about this offseason, man, and it's a great one. First of all, you want to talk about this 2024 Astros team and how it all went down for them.
Yeah, man. The Astros they got their fourth straight AL West title, seventh straight season making it to, or actually this is the first season in the past 8 that they didn't make it to the ALCS, and it's their 9th trip to the postseason in the last 10 years. Framber Valdez looked great. Hunter Brown started coming into his own. Spencer Arrighetti showed signs of greatness, and of course you had Justin Verlander, who's Justin Verlander, and you can always count on that guy to have a decent season as long as he's healthy. But that is one of the free agents that the Astros do not have any longer. So it's going to be interesting to see this season coming up, man.
That is true, man. This 2024 season for the Astros didn't go as planned. They lost to the Tigers team, a young Tiger team against their ex-manager, AJ Hinch. They did not expect to lose to him. We're talking about an Astro team that has been dominating the American League for so long. It was just shocker to lose to some guys in the Tigers roster that you were like, who are they? Who? And
Right.
somehow they were playing hot and great baseball, and their bats came alive in October. And unfortunately, the Astros were on the other side, finally losing, which a lot of MLB fans were celebrating. Let's just be honest there. But let's talk about these free agents coming up for these Astros, man. They're losing 2 big stars. Alex Bregman has hit the free agency. What's next for Alex Bregman? Will he be returning to this Astro team?
Bregman leaves a huge hole in the left side of the infield. I would guess that the Astros re-signed Bregman, but Bregman's a Boras guy, Scott Boras, and everyone knows that Scott Boras likes to wait until the last minute to sign his guys, try to get them like the best deal that they can. Sometimes it backfires, so hopefully it won't take Bregman too long to sign. But I don't know. I think Bregman. I want to say that he re-signs with the Astros, but they do have some other options. There's a prospect coming up, or there's actually been some rumors around the baseball community that Nolan Arenado might be in a Houston Astros jersey come spring training.
Oh, that's a great rumor out there to hear. You bring an experienced bat like Nolan Arenado to Dakin Park. Just want to announce that Maid Park is no longer stadium for the Astros. It's now called Dakin Park. Just wanted to throw that out there. It was just announced today. But you're talking about Bregman, man, a guy that won Gold Glove this year in third base. His first one defensively. He brings great things for the Astros in the corner. Now the thing is that he is on the decline. He is going into age 32 season. His pop is not the same like it once was. And the Boras being his agent, he's gonna ask for a lot of money. And he's asking for over 7 years, $182 million.
That's ridiculous.
He's talking about you're going to be paying a guy from his age 32 to 38, 39. That is a lot of money. And I'm not sure if the owner, Jim Crane, is willing to give that much money, especially because he's known not to spend. And then you're talking about they have free agencies coming up next year for Kyle Tucker, Framber Valdez, and those guys have to get paid just the same. So there's a lot of question marks for this team. I wouldn't be shocked if Bregman goes to another team now and finishes his career elsewhere.
Yeah, I'm thinking
on that?
I think the Astros are probably going to want to save their money and pay Framber and Kyle Tucker. I think those guys. I know Bregman is an Astro. This is the only major league uniform he's ever worn in his long career, and it's going to be hard to see him in any other uniform. But I think that the like you said it, man, the Astros aren't really into spending that much money, and they're probably going to want to spend it on guys that are not really in so much of a decline. Like Kyle Tucker. You know, Kyle Tucker, he got hurt last year and he was only supposed to be out for a few weeks. Ended up being almost the whole season. And that was pretty detrimental right there, man. I think he's one of the reasons why the Astros didn't make it as far as they usually do in the postseason, because he wasn't ready yet. You know, he didn't shake off enough of the rust to really go into like full force Kyle Tucker like he usually does.
Definitely. And let's talk about another player. Now you're bringing in Justin Verlander, who is also another free agent who was getting paid over $43 million last season. A guy that was a Cy Young 2 years ago at age 39. Now you're talking about he's going into season 20-something. He's about to turn 42 years old. And the question is, do you bring him back to that starting rotation?
I don't. I think, honestly, I think he's done. I think he's cooked. I think it's ready. I think Verlander, it's time to just, you know, hang up the cleats and call it a career. You know, Father Time, he has no weaknesses, you know, and I think it's about time that he's caught up to Justin Verlander. And Justin Verlander's had a great career, a couple of Cy Youngs, a couple of no-hitters, bounced around a bunch of different teams, but I like seeing him back in an Astros uniform, you know?
Yeah, and the only way I see him coming back is that he does have a great relationship with the owner, Jim Crane. Now, the thing is that he would have to accept a better minimum type of pay for him to come back, because this is an Astros team that is above the luxury tax, and this will be the second season where they would have to pay that tax for being above their payroll. So if you're Verlander, if you want to come back and play for Houston, you're going to have to take a major pay cut, which I think he would be okay with. I think he's pursuing 300 career wins right now. He's 38 games from getting that. So if he really still has a little bit of 88, 89, 90-mile fastball, why not? Give it a shot.
He's 38 shy, you said?
Yes.
Oh, so he's going to have to play for like 3 seasons to be able to reach that at least. And those are 3 healthy seasons. So I don't know. If I'm Justin Verlander, I look at my wife and I'm like, yo, I got a hot ass wife at home. I'm going to stay home and start spending more time with her. You know, I bet his brother would be pretty upset. Brother's a big Houston guy, a big Astros fan. He's talking about him all the time. So shout out to Verlander.
That is true, man. So you're talking about Justin Verlander that still will go down as a Hall of Famer even if he decides to come back or hang it up. So it's all up to him. It depends how much he loves baseball. And, you know, that would be a great signing if he does come to the Astros for me, just to finish his career there one more year being healthy. Let's talk about the Astros' biggest needs, man. This is talking about a team that, you know, it potentially could lose a third baseman like Bregman, another starting rotation as Verlander, but we know that they have a lot of starting pitchers. Do they need any position you think they need the most help in right now?
I think third base and first base are like the 2 biggest ones right now, because ever since Yuli Gurriel left the team, they've tried other first basemen. They had Jose Abreu, hasn't really worked out. He's been on the decline for a while.
He's got cut. He's no longer there.
He got cut. He's not there anymore. So they have Mauricio Dubon. They have John Singleton. They have a couple guys that they can kind of just like slot there, but they don't really have that like definitive first baseman. And honestly, I'm thinking maybe Anthony Rizzo. You know, they don't really want to spend a lot of money, and Anthony Rizzo is going to be like relatively cheap. I think that could be a decent option on a 1-year deal with the Astros. I think the bigger hole is at third base, and the Astros do have a prospect coming up.
Zach Dezenzo.
Yes, exactly. Zach Dezenzo, who did play a little bit in the majors last season, and he wasn't overwhelmingly good or bad. You know, he was fine, but I could see Dezenzo coming into the league and being the starting third baseman or first baseman for the Astros going forward. And I think that kind of like it definitely helps the Astros a little bit, because they don't have such like it opens up possibilities for them and options, because he can play both corner infield spots. So Zach Dezenzo, his main position has always been third base, and that's what he's played majority of his career. But we've seen he was playing first base majority of the time last season, this past 2024 season with the Astros, and he was playing a lot of first base in the minor leagues also, probably getting ready, getting prepared to be able to play first base for the Astros. So they do have options. I'd like to see them give Dezenzo a chance at third and maybe go after one of these first basemen that's available, or maybe even like a Yuli Gurriel reunion and trading him back from the Miami Marlins, where he's just kind of like wasting away over there anyway. I think the fan base loves Yuli Gurriel, so I'm sure that they would love to have him back.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with you. I think it's time to bring up Zach Dezenzo. It's time to see if he's the real deal, and if either third base or first base, wherever your need is. And I think you're right. They need to bring a veteran into first base. It would be great to help Dezenzo grow up and mature as a player. You bring in a guy like Rizzo, Paul Goldschmidt, that is available. That could provide some pop for the team and, bring some depth into the roster. That's what much needed for this Astros team if they want to make some noise going into next season. We talk about starting pitching. I think they're set there. They got Arrighetti, Hunter Brown, Framber Valdez, Christian Javier. They're pretty stacked there. Now the bullpen is
Lance McCullers also, who is usually injured, all season, but maybe this will be the season where we actually finally get to see 25 starts from that guy. It's been great. A long time because he's been known, and dude, his pitches are nasty. His breaking pitches are nasty, man. He has so much movement. It's like, dude, can you just stay healthy for one season?
Yeah, man. Just tough luck, man. Hasn't worked out his way, unfortunately, but I think he will be back and healthy next season. It'll be great signs for the Astros team. Now, where I do see they need much help is bullpen. I'm not sure. Brian Abreu was doing great things, but in that postseason did not look great. Ryan Presley is getting paid a lot of money, and I'm not sure if they want to keep him. I think they're talking about trading Ryan Presley.
He's getting pretty old. Ryan Presley's pretty old. He was the closer before the Astros got Josh Hader, and Josh Hader's fine. The Astros ended up spending some money and they got a good reliever out of it, but you still need a guy to set him up to get past the 8th inning or 7th inning or whatever.
Yeah, man, it's totally true. And I think it's time to, they're bringing Hector Neris back too, but there is signs that they need bullpen help. And I think this is where they needed to close out games against the Tigers team. And that's where it didn't work out for them. Now, talking about outfield, I think they could bring another bat there too, man. Chas McCormick, Jake Myers. I'm not sure if they're the real answer for you there. They're great supporting cast guys, but it would be nice to bring a star player that could help out in the outfield like Kyle Tucker.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, maybe bringing back Jason Hayward on a 1-year deal, and there's a lot of outfielders out there that are decent options that are not too crazy expensive, that guys are kind of like at the tail end of their career where they're going to be bouncing around from a bunch of different teams, 1-year deals and trades and stuff like that. And Jason Hayward was with the team for, the entire 2024 season after the Dodgers didn't re-sign him. And Dodgers ended up going after Teoscar Hernandez instead. And that worked out great for them. But
Jason Hayward got there for the last 2 months, right? I remember he getting cut by the Dodgers midseason, and that's where he came in, did some pop for the Astros for sure.
Yeah, he's a good left-handed bat that could provide some power in the middle of that lineup, or even towards the bottom of that lineup, depending on where they want to slot him in. But guys get on base, and that's the guy that could drive in a lot of runs.
For sure, man. There's a lot of things to talk about this Astros team, starting from projected lineups, and I think this is where we have to talk about what will the lineup look like next year.
So Jose Altuve is always like the typical leadoff hitter, right. And I think with Bregman not being on the team next year, I think that's I think that's going to leave a big hole, in the lineup. And I'm looking at RotoChamp right now. They still have Alex Bregman slotted in there. I guess they believe that he's going to re-sign. So it looks like the top 3: Jose Altuve, Kyle Tucker, and Yordan Alvarez. That's a big 1-2-3 punch right there. I know Altuve is a little bit old, but he still got some pop in that bat. He just got his 300th stolen base career, last season. So the legs are good.
Yeah.
He had a little trouble a couple of years ago, but I think for him it was more mental rather than physical. This was after the cheating scandal came out, and a lot of people were just like razzing him and throwing pitches like really close, almost hitting him, and I think it just got in his head. But after a little while, after the the heckling kind of calmed down a little bit. Jose Altuve is playing like Jose Altuve again. And I like that. Yainer Diaz hitting 5th in the order. He's a really solid bat. Victor Caratini will be his backup. I don't think we'll see him in the lineup every day. They have Yainer Diaz batting 5th and Victor Caratini batting 6th. Jeremy Pena batting 7th. And then they have Jason Hayward and Chas McCormick towards the bottom of the lineup. So Jason Hayward's a question mark and Alex Bregman's a question mark. Everyone else seems to be, pretty solid in there. I think this team, as it stands right now, is probably a team that can take the Astros to win the AL West again.
Okay.
But they still do need that solid, hard-hitting bat in the lineup, whether it's a Jason Hayward type or if they want to go after one of these free agents or just, bring up Dezenzo like we were talking about earlier, because that boy, he got some pop, man. He had a few balls hit over 110 miles per hour, a lot of swing and miss, though. So I think he's like your kind of like prototypical high strikeouts, big power type of corner infielder. So I'd like to see him maybe go in, 5th in the order and maybe bump up Yainer Diaz up to 3rd, and then put Yordan Alvarez as the cleanup hitter in the Astros lineup.
Nice. I mean, talking about that 1-4 lineup, 1-4 batting order, it's already deadly as it is to start the game. They definitely just need a little bit more depth from 6 to 9 hitters. I think every team could always use a little bit more depth. And like you said, Zach Dezenzo could provide that spark that they need. But you're right. I do see the Astros winning the AL West again. The Mariners had every shot to beat them this year, and they came up short. They were up 10 games on the Astros in May, and the Astros never backed down, man. They kept playing every day, and they found ways to sneak in and win this division like they always do. They have a winning culture there. Dana Brown, their GM, just continues to do great things for them there. And it's a team that continues to provide, even though they cheated and they did their thing, they continue to win. So gotta give them big props to them.
A lot of people were very upset with the punishment that was handed out to the Astros by Major League Baseball. It was a $5 million fine. That seemed to be like the biggest story of it, and all the players kind of got off scot-free. But now I think we're actually starting to see the effects of that, the punishment, because not only were they fined $5 million, but they were also they also had their first and second round picks taken away from the 2020 season, the 2020 draft, and the 2021 draft. So, now we're seeing like they don't have a solid first baseman. They don't have a solid third baseman that's like ready to take over for, those open spots and some pitching holes also, like Framber Valdez is their ace, but,
they top dollar.
Yeah, exactly. And they don't really have like a solid like number 2, Hunter Brown, I guess, would be their number 2, so not having those 4 picks from the 2020 and 2021 draft, like that's really hurting the Astros right now. But they are in the AL West, and the AL West is kind of becoming like one of the weakest divisions in baseball. We used to think of the AL Central as one of the weakest divisions in baseball, but now with the Guardians and the Royals and the Tigers, back in it, I think they're actually looking like a really strong division compared to the West.
Yeah, you're totally right, man. You're talking about an Astros team that their window's kind of closing, having all these players from the past. You got Kyle Tucker, that's young. Jordan Alvarez is hitting in his 30s. Altuve's in his 30s. If you bring back Bregman, he's in his 30s. Their window is closing, and this is a big concern. Like you said, the effects of not drafting early could make an impact then in the future. But I want to bring up a rumor that is being talked about in MLB trade rumors right now. There's saying that the Astros have interest in Willy Adames and playing him in third base. What are your thoughts on that?
Willy Adames is fine. I don't see him as, really like replacing an Alex Bregman type, because Alex Bregman, he's like top 5 in plate discipline. He doesn't really provide the pop that he used to. There was only one time in his career that he hit over 35 home runs in a single season. Bregman's more like a 25 homer type of guy with like a 260 batting average, but great on base percentage. Willy Adames, that's a good glove. You're replacing a Gold Glove infielder with another Gold Glove infielder, so that's pretty awesome. and he does have some thump in his bat. So I think it would work. Does Willy Adames want to play for the Astros? Like that would be one of the biggest things, because he's already said he has trouble in certain ballparks with the batter's eye. I don't know if it's something to do with his eyes or his height or where he looks, when he's in the batter's box, but he's had some trouble with the batter's eye. So I don't know how he actually does in former Minute Maid Park.
Yeah.
What'd you call it now? Did Daikin?
Dakin Park. I think Dakin. I'm not sure how you even pronounce it, but it's just announced today, a couple hours ago. Dakin Park. It's an HVAC company. The HVAC's taking over, man. So they're going to be there for the next 15 years.
Okay.
Yeah, that is true, man. So yeah, talking about Willy Adames, like you said, it would be a great addition, but I think Dana Brown and Jim Crane have to do everything in their power to sign Alex Bregman if they want to continue competing.
Yeah, I agree. And if you're not going to go after Alex Bregman, then there's a couple other free agents available, like a Christian Walker type that could go to first base, moving Dezenzo back to third.
Yep.
And honestly, if I'm in the front office, loyalty is big. You want to offer Bregman the deal, but they did offer him the qualifying offer, and so far he's declined that. So I think mainly because he's a Boris guy. If he had another agent, he might have taken that and then got an extension possibly. But because Scott Boras is his agent, that's man, that guy. He's a swindler, dude. He's a swindler for sure. And I think they're just trying to milk every ounce out of anyone that's willing to pay Alex Bregman, which is fine, and that's what you do.
It.
At the end of the day, it's a business, and this is your job, and you want to get paid well for the job that you do, being regarded as a top 10 third baseman in the league, so sure. He does deserve to get paid. I don't know about no 7 years, man. He's a little bit old to be getting a 7-year contract, but
182.
It seems to be like the direction of MLB now, where they're starting to give these guys long-term deals just to get them to sign their name on the contract. That seems to be the incentive, not necessarily like the money per year. It's more about the longevity of it, because these guys want to be able to play close to their age 40 season, and we're starting to see that a lot now. Like, look at Anthony Rizzo. I think he's like 36, 37 now. Still playing. He went to the World Series last year and fumbled a couple times, not play at first base. But hey, you know what? You live and you learn. I guarantee he'll never do that again.
That's true, man. Well, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in and listening. If you like our content, make sure to give that like and subscribe. Willpower, Ernie Orange, and John Murrow will be back in the next episode. We'll be talking to all 30 MLB teams. Make sure to check out the previous week's episodes. We had the Angels and Padres. Now we're talking Astros. And the next team coming in is for those East Coast Philly fans out there, and want to see how those Phillies will turn out that 2025 season. But everybody here from Real Talk Baseball, thank you, Will, and we'll be seeing you guys soon for the next episode. Thank you.
See you guys.